I always try to gauge what a fighter's trying to bring, with the face off. They try to intimidate me. It was all respect, He looks ready.
Gio, why did you have so much success with Pitbull? No one gave you a shot.
I have a great, I have a damn good jab. I understand how to move. I know how to use the ring. I know how to throw off timing, using different angles. And yeah, man, that's a good formula to piss off a power puncher like Pitbull. Matadors defeat bulls in the ring, and it's by using their aggression and their power against them. So that's the law.
How do you feel this opportunity, man? Do you feel this is another shot at redemption? They mentioned you gave Pitbull everything he can have.
I don't think this is redemption necessarily. I think my stock only went up from the Pitbull fight. You see how he demolished Rolly Romero. Respect to Rolly. I like him. I met him. He's a good dude. But yeah, it only shows what kind of level that I am on as well. I really controlled the early moments in that fight, middle rounds. He cracked me with some haymakers. I found out what my jaw is made of, and it's made of steel. In the later rounds, I took control. I thought I won by a hair, but this is boxing, and had I dominated, there would be no doubt. So it's just about growing, getting better, and doing my thing.
You obviously pose a threat to Zepeda style-wise.
Absolutely. He's been hit by his previous opponents pretty frequently. He's been hurt before, and that's where I'm gonna have to capitalize and take those opportunities and do some damage.
What do you think of Ryan Garcia and the whole story with Haney? How that unfolded?
Oh man, positive vibes only. Is that what he posted? Hey man, I think it's a bit cowardly to take steroids like that. He can say whatever the fuck he wants, but at the end of the day, he put someone's life in danger, and it's cheating, So, all that shit that, he thinks he's like the greatest God's gift to boxing, but clearly we see that he's a villain, not the hero.
Do you want to fight him?
Haney, of course, I would love to fight Ryan Garcia. We saw what happens when he fights a southpaw, a good southpaw who could pop. He had one loss, and everybody after a loss, they have an opportunity to rise up and be better than they were before. He took it the opposite way, and he took steroids. So, I hope they don't banish him. So, yeah, I would love to fight Ryan Garcia.
Do you expect Cameron Zepeda to throw as many punches as he usually does?
Absolutely. I think he's gonna try. I think if I have anything to say about it, I'm gonna do my best to throw off his rhythm.
How do you neutralize that? How do you throw off his rhythm?
There's many ways, controlling distance, manipulating distance, making them think that I'm closer when I'm further away. Different changing speeds, changing levels. He's gonna have a lot to think about that. Maybe he hasn't with other fighters.
You going the distance with Pitbull, how much confidence does that give you going into this fight against Zepeda, against another volume and hard-hitting puncher like this?
Yeah, well, I know that I have the best chin in boxing, when at certain different times when Pitbull was fighting Gervonta Davis, Gervonta, look, holy shit, he was in the corner, fighting for his life. I took those right on the chin, and I was surprised myself. I was like, yo, is he gonna, maybe I'm getting lucky, maybe the next one knocks me out. It took 2 or 3 rounds of that to be like, holy shit, stop running from this guy. You're the bigger, stronger guy. There's nothing that he can do that's gonna fucking hurt you. And I learned that a little bit too late and started putting pressure later on in the fight. I would love that rematch, I would love that rematch because this time I'll push him back. I know he cannot fight going backwards. He's had that exposed in other fights, and if he's got the balls to do it, let's do it.
He's fighting Rayo, and I don't know if you saw that. He didn't give him a handshake or something like that. Rayo was trying to handshake Pitbull's hand, and he didn't see it. Did you see that, and what is your reaction to
I
that?
think the boxing gods don't like that, as Gabriel Flores found out, That's Rayo's a ballsy, damn good. He'll give trouble to anybody in the lightweight division for sure. I think he's got a good shot to beat him, and he should have just respected him. Why double down on the? You're not really a pit bull, man.
Giovanni, how have you evolved under Freddie?
There's so many things about boxing theory that people try to teach. I think boxing, is flooded with people who really don't know what the hell they're talking about, because you can't. If I wanted to be an NFL coach, I couldn't just say, "Oh, I'm an NFL coach." I would have to have gone to universities, have winning championship teams. So boxing is filled with people who just sign up and say, "Oh, I'm the trainer." Freddie, as a successful Hall of Fame legend, through experience, through having so many world champions, can say this is the right way, and I know for certain that it is. So it eliminates a lot of doubt in your mind.
Tank or Frank Martin? Who do you like on that one, and do you want the winner?
Of course, I want the winner, man. I'm hoping, may the best man win. I don't really have a preference, but I would like Tank to win just so I could fight Tank. I think Tank's a badass dude. He's knocked out everybody, knocked out Ryan. That's what excites me. The bigger, the better the beast, the more more intelligent I'm gonna look when I slay him. So.
What can you not afford to do in this fight against Zepeda?
What can I not afford to do? I don't know. The obvious thing that people think is like, oh, he has his hands down, But I never. It was the only reason why I got hit by Pitbull the way that I did was because he is a very short, tricky bastard. A lot of people that's the worst kind of guy to fight. Yeah. So I think the height is more even here. And it actually serves in my favor to have my hands down. My defense is better, my head movement is better, I can use my angles. I understand those angles better.
He's talked about sparring one of the guys that supposedly gets avoided a lot, which is Uriel Matias at 140. What do you say to him saying like that he spars guys like that que pegan, bien recio, que pegan fuerte?
That's pretty good. Good for him. Hopefully, I think it's just because it's a left-handed fighter, doesn't mean that it's serving him the way that he thinks it is. I think that you have to get a guy who's clever with a good jab, keeping the pace and moving around the ring. That's what he needed. But Subrel he's a good, smart southpaw, but he's a power guy, I think, right?
Describe the 135-pound division. Where do you see yourself after this fight?
Well, I think there shouldn't be a doubt in anyone's mind. If I dominate this guy and I beat him, then I am the #1 contender in the world. That's it. I would love to fight Shakur Stevenson. I don't know why they're matching him with. I don't even know the guy's name that he's fighting. No disrespect, but.
Artem Ovanesian. He fought Frank Martin before.
Oh, did he win that fight?
It was very close, but Frank Martin won.
Oh, okay.
115.
Oh, that's the one where they barely threw any punches, right?
And he took a knee in the last round.
Ooh. Oh, well. No disrespect. I just really didn't know him. But, to be a world champion, you should be taking on guys like Zepeda or like me, and not someone who just lost in their last one.
Giovanni, are you currently signed by any promotional company?
I'm not signed with anybody.
Would you like to be signed by anybody after this fight?
Well, when I do win, I'm looking, I'm inspired by guys like Sugar Ray Robinson, business minds like Floyd Mayweather, and obviously Oscar De La Hoya. I would like to be part of my own promoting my own fights as well, but I would love to work with every promoter that's interested in put on.
You have worked on the PBC card, Top Rank, one more promotions now, so you're pretty much very
on my way.
So do you feel like at the end of the day the fighter reacts and controls who they fight, or sometimes they say, oh, it's because he's on the zone or he's with Top Rank, so that's why he's not gonna fight. Do you feel as a fighter who has fought in different platforms that the fighter at the end of the day is the one who chooses where they fight and who they fight?
Well, at the end of the day, I feel like everybody, after Floyd Mayweather changed the model of boxing in everyone's mind, we all started to think of it as a business. And then it's all about clever matchmaking, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, a fighter is in charge. I don't care what kind of contract you're under. If you say, I don't want to fight, no one's going to force you to fight. You can choose who you want to fight. So, boxing needs to go back to its golden era of everybody fights everybody. That's the only way to the top. The cream should rise to the top. I think it's just an excuse. I think people hide behind that answer.
Adrian Broner or Blair to Flair?
Woo! Going for Blair to Flair. That's my guy.
Now, you see the poster. What do you think about the picture they picked?
Thank God you said something about that, man. For the Pitbull fight, I was like, wow, this is the most historic fights of the modern era, the most important welterweight fight since Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather, and they made me look like a goddamn giraffe, man. I was like, holy shit, that was the ugliest thing. They're gonna look back in history and be like, that guy was ugly, man. But no, thankfully that they did me justice here.
And you're tan.
Yeah, I got a nice little tan. Looks like I was on
So
vacation.
when you go through the airport and people look at you, you look familiar. Who do they confuse you with the most?
Oh man, that's hilarious. They always say, well, some people say Ryan Garcia.
Do you see that?
Yeah, a little bit. We're like the same prototype, like light-skinned Mexican kind of tall. You know.
Do you sign Ryan Garcia?
People say John Leguizamo,
I can see that.
which is always hilarious. And you know, hopefully Carlito's Way, John Leguizamo, not the Pest. You know, that shit's embarrassing when people bring that up.
He played a boxer in a movie too, but
A great actor, brother. Great actor. Big
what
fan.
does Haney do next?
Haney, shit. He needs to regroup. You know, no, he needs to believe that whatever happened was the steroids, man, and he shouldn't take it too hard on himself. I mean, he's a champ. He'll be back. Hopefully, just take a